Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the background of World War One. So we're going to go through this and we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to read it to you and kind of explain a few things as we go. So let's begin. At the turn of the 20th century, Europe was feeling pretty darn good. It controlled empires that circled the globe. Its technology was unsurpassed. Its art and music were the envy of the world. In 1900, Europeans believed the world was their oyster. That means they believed the world was theirs for the taking. But this feeling was not to last. By the end of 1918, after 4 long years of war, European confidence was badly shaken. 10 million soldiers had died, another 20 million had been wounded. Empires that had lasted for centuries lay in tatters. Writers wrote of broken dreams. Europe had entered the Great War riding on a song. Now, in November of 1918, no one was singing. What had gone wrong? In the late 19th century, European leaders believed that by creating a balance of power, this means that, like rock, paper, scissors, anyone couldn't be anyone else. Everyone was equal. They could prevent such a horror. The idea was that if the major powers of Europe, countries like England, France, Russia, and Germany, were balanced in strength, no one country could dominate the rest. War could be avoided. But Otto von Bismarck, the Chancellor of Prussia, who led the unification of the German states, did not like the fact that Germany was sandwiched between Russia and France. To counter this uncomfortable situation, Bismarck created an alliance with Austria-Hungary and Italy. In response, France, Russia, and Great Britain formed their own Entente. That's a French word meaning alliance. The great players were picking sides. The tension between countries was matched by tension within countries, especially in southeastern Europe, and an area known as the Balkans, the spirit of nationalism. Nationalism means you have pride in your country. And independence ran high. Some ethnic groups revolted. The region was a powder keg. All it lacked was a spark to set it off. A powder keg usually means gunpowder, and sparks make it explode. That spark was provided by a Serbian nationalist group called the Black Hand. They wanted independence from their mother country, Austria-Hungary. Their solution? Assassinate the Archduke of Austria when he came to visit. On the morning of June 28, 1914, the Archduke's car was fired upon by one of the Serbian assassins. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife were killed. The Black Hand hoped the assassination would trigger a rebellion that would lead to Serbian independence. But this spark in the Balkans soon flamed out of control. One thing led to another, and soon all of Europe was at war. Now, this is the part that leads into it. Austrian leaders demand apologies from Serbia. An angry Serbia received a promise of help from Russia. On July 28th, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia declares war on Austria-Hungary. Germany declares war on Russia. France declares war on Germany and Austria-Hungary. Britain joined France and Russia. Europe was at war. 4 long years and 10 million lives later, Europe looked for answers. What had gone wrong? All right, guys, that's the background essay, and there's a few things I want you to take from this. The balance of power. Let's see if I can get my highlighter. I think this is it. Box highlighter, that's what I want, yellow. So this balance of power right there, that's what I want you to think about, that everybody wanted to be the same. And once that becomes out of balance, then you start seeing everything start tumbling towards war. Germany didn't like being between France and Russia. So they said, hey, if anything happens to us, Austria-Hungary, you help us out, and if anything happens to you, we'll help you out. Italy, you're on board as well, which is hilarious because Italy doesn't stay in the war very long. Otto von Bismarck, the Chancellor of Prussia who led the unification of the German states. This guy right here, he was a little crazy. France, Russia, and Great Britain formed the Entente. Germany and Austria-Hungary formed the alliance. Italy is in there for a little bit, but they actually get out of the war pretty quick. And then also America joins in with France, Russia, and Great Britain. The Balkans are in the lower right corner of Europe. And nationalism, as I said before, is a love of one's own country. We're going to have a lesson about that later. Ethnic is like racial groups, but ethnic has more to do with culture. So they may look alike, but their cultures are completely different. After that, and you watched the history of World War One bomb or history bomb of World War One, you were caught up for the background of World War One.